Alright, we are back. It is, we believe, week 5 now of the Dev Clash. Good heavens. And it's still all silent here in the studio, but we've got myself, Jake, here. And on the voice com, are you there, Johan?
I think I'm here, at least I hope so.
Well, I hear you loud and clear, hopefully they do at home. And yeah, we're back to the carnage of the Dev Clash. Everybody's just joining in, readied up. And we're about to get started. We'll get a review of how the world is looking right now and what we think is going to be happening on this session.
Yeah, we're running on hot code because the game has changed a little bit. We'll be tweaking and fixing problems as they appear. And of course, fun exploits that the Kaiser has discovered that we had to...
All right, we're getting started. I say getting started. I see Nurgle just bouncing around in the other room.
Yeah. All players have arrived.
All players are in. Great. We can start getting into this. Do you think you could zoom in on chat then, Nurgle, just to make it easier for me? There we go. Excellent. Great. Now I can see the chat. We can see the game. Players have arrived, and we're ready to go.
And I was mentioning about Castor Joe and doing a little exploit. There was a bug we discovered with the Aztec Reformation system, and that when you lose vassals, you only lost every second vassal. It was some code refactoring earlier this year that broke it. So
he was able to retain his vassals, was he?
Yeah, he was retaining half of his vassals.
Uh-huh. Oh, well.
Not work. That's not working as designed.
Yeah, he's in there saying it's what. Well, when you find the exploits in the Dev Clash, we get them logged, we get them fixed, and we carry on.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at the Aztec. How are they faring then? Because they have finished their reforms there. What they managed to do was get a border with Castile, so that they could advance.
Yeah, and they are not that badly managed. They are not that tiny. They have like, governing capacity is nice.
Their tech is quite up to date as well. So he's hoovering up all the remaining natives. So he should have easy enough time.
And Green Raiders has a potato computer again. 144 development is not huge, but...
Yeah, but it's got good gold there, and it's soon going to balloon up. I think he'll be 300 development before you know it.
Yeah. And that's... Scotland is... Oh, it's a player war.
Whoa, that was fast.
France versus... England versus France. France has Castile, Aragon, and Denmark on their side.
Okay, so it is the French striking out here. They've kept...
Yeah, and England, Portugal, and Sardinia is on the other side. It's the French conquest of Labourd.
That's not the biggest alliance to hold off France and Castile and Burgundy.
Well, Savoy, they have the naval supremacy, and France is ravaged by rebels, and so is England. So I'm not sure this was the ideal start of it.
Yeah, England's been having a rough time with all the rebels going on, and we were saying at the time, why are they not being struck? This is the golden opportunity. It looks like France has decided it is indeed the golden opportunity. They want the reconquest and all of their cores. In fact, I'd be surprised if they settle for anything short of the entire mainland here. They will want all their cores, but they're going to want Bordeaux and Labourd as well.
The Flanders army has caught the English fleet out at sea, and I'm not entirely sure that England can actually win.
Yeah, England have some heavies there, but they're not being competitive right now. Their rather small fleet is already split up and getting attacked. That's impressive.
We're running speed 1. Grug, fix speed, please.
Yeah, I think Green Gradius was bringing the speed down again here.
Yeah, it's like years behind. No, but this is a war. Yeah.
Yeah, this does not look good for England. It kind of looks really bad for Portugal. Like they've joined in on this war, but it's not going to be too helpful for them.
Well, they have the naval supremacy, but I don't know what's the Castilians doing. I mean, Denmark is on one side, Sweden.
Perhaps there's an agreement between the Castilians and the Portuguese so that they don't end up fighting each other in this war, because they both seem to be elsewhere Probably dealing with colonial things instead.
Yeah.
Portugal's still doing their colonization of South America, which is going just fine for them. And then there are the Castilians who are... Oh, Green Gaddius is saying, okay, this isn't working. This could be a bad fate for Sweden in this one.
Yeah, and England is in a bad position here because it's like you can't live with just not having a fleet like they're doing.
Yeah, the defense of your island is everything.
Yeah, they have a decent army, but it's like I just don't get it.
Yeah, but England's had plenty of trouble with the rebels and such. They're drowning in debt. They've only just managed to defeat the rebels in Ireland after they defected a few provinces off of them, no less.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good day to be Scotland then, or rather the Scotland player who abandoned ship to head over to New Providence. He doesn't have to deal with any of that.
Nope. Yeah, and the Utrecht player from Vermont, he's been migrating away and he's in Americas.
Oh my. Vermont as a formable?
Yes, it's something that they added in content design.
Wonder what they're getting. Well, they've certainly got plenty of claims across the area now. Let's have a quick look at Vermont here. They have Vermont ideas as well.
Yeah, discipline at the end. Morale of armies.
That's not too shabby.
Yeah.
I think this was Utrecht's goal from the start because they did say in an early session that they were not going to be invested in mainland European shenanigans.
Yeah.
But Scotland as an AI is continuing their colonies up in the north.
The war against France has changed. One big, huge nation joined the side on England.
Well, one wonders why Hungary gets involved. So does the Pope. So does Austria. It seems like England, whilst they might be out of money and navy, are not out of diplomacy. It seems like the Eastern Bloc wants to contain the Western Bloc here. There have been some concerns about the size of the French-Castilian-Burgundian alliance, and here we go. This is what they have to pay for.
Portugal is moving away from the mainland. They fed...
they fed their whole land to Galicia. I was noticing Galicia as a subject earlier and wondering what was going on with that, but now that they've got all that land, Portugal's capital has probably moved, or is probably about to move. Well, they couldn't do it right now if they're at war, but they peaced out. Aha. Are they even still playing there? Oh, there we go. We now have Brazil, so they decided to become Brazil instead. So we're having quite a few new world players then. Alright, how do you think this war is going to go down then? The numbers have grown to be on England's advantage, although not necessarily through England's numbers. All those Austrian troops, even Sardinia, Piedmont bringing in quite a lot, and they're fighting out in Chiamberi. And that's not looking good for the French, not at all. They got chased out. That's what a fort on a mountain will do for you.
And this is interesting.
And there we go, the Swiss have rented out their armies too. They are condottieri for Sardinia, Piedmont. So France is going to have to think what to do about this. It's very much in the East's interest to keep England as a bit of a counterweight against France. So it's no surprise that they wanted to weigh in on this.
Take a look at London.
Is London burning?
No, look at the army and navy.
Yeah, there we go. So we have the Sardinia Piedmont fleet and their army even to help defend it. But the English army is getting ravaged by noble rebels right now. So they must be pretty glad to have a helping hand there.
Which English army?
Well, I don't think there's going to be much left of it at the end of this. Wow, all of their infantry is wiped out. It's just a few men on horses and some fancy cannons. Right, so what do the French, the Burgundians, and the Spanish have to do to get out of this? Because they are now, maybe not surrounded, but certainly outnumbered on the mainland here. So that's a lot of players they have to fight against.
I mean, this is interesting.
So Bohemia, Hungary, Austria, Milan. Yeah, the Italians have come together. I wonder if they want to liberate Naples from French oppression. Because it's a great place for the Papal State to expand into.
And France and Castile have no fleet in the Mediterranean to contest the Italian supremacy there. But this is interesting. Well, like in the mid-16th century, usually Italy has been like divided into one power, but we have like 3 sizable nations in Italy, and a big chunk is French. So it's...
Yeah, the tensions have been rising. They're going in for a big fight in... Oh my. Yeah, down in Messina, next to Syracuse. Can they dislodge the French there? Because the French units are really powerful at this stage in the game. It's coming down to the wire. They took a 2 on the crossing penalty and into mountains. And there they go. They were able to get the French out of there. So they should be able to lift the French occupations of Sicily.
Yeah, but the French fleet is stuck in Salerno, so they can't do anything. And the Milanese army is chasing down the French corps in Italy. So I think
France got rid of their army there, or dismissed it. But if they occupy that province, they can force the French fleet out and have it massacred by, what's that, Austrians, Milanese, and the Papal forces on the seas.
Yeah, this is...
Okay, now the Hungarians are moving into southern France. I've just seen France immediately start recruiting a lot of units. They've taken on some debt. Their manpower is still okay, but
there were significant armies in France. So.
Yeah, but there's a significant number rolling on in here. We've got Bohemia taking over Burgundy. The Austrians have crossed over. The Saxonies playing their part as well. And yeah, got to admire the Swiss, right? They're staying out of the war, but they're bringing in their troops in true Swiss way.
It's like everyone is on the side of the... It's like you only have Denmark, Burgundy, and Castile, and a bunch of minors.
Mm-hmm. But I can't help but feel that maybe France brought a bit of this on themselves, because what they did in the previous session towards the end was ally the Ottomans in an obvious attempt to constrain the growth of Austria and Hungary, who were trying to eat up Greece and Anatolia.
But they didn't call the Ottomans into this war, and this was an offensive war. It was a huge risk-taking.
Yeah, especially when the lands were ready to defect from England. They could have just launched an attack on Normandy, which is now independent. Well, guaranteed by Brittany, actually. I don't know what Brittany's thinking there. Okay, so the French are going on the offensive in the south. And they've got Castilian backup here. But notice the French have guns. The French have military tech 12, so do the Castilians.
Hey, is this a stack wipe of the Saxon army? No, not really. Maybe.
They're gone. They are very gone. And here's the thing, Saxony have only got tech 11. Between the east, they're sharing between tech 11 and 12. Tech 12 is a massacre here if you have it and the enemy does not.
The French armies are marching up along the river.
Yeah, going in for Lyonnais against the everything forces. This is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, but the French have numbers and they have morale and...
Good luck as well. They're rolling well.
And the discipline... Oh, this is sizable.
Yeah, but those Bohemians need to get in. If the Bohemians don't get their backup in, they're going to lose this. All right, they arrived. I think those fresh troops were enough to tip the scales.
Yeah. Whose armies? The Hussite armies won the battle.
Yeah, and if we look at the numbers, though, the French side are significantly lower on all fronts now. Oh, I bet Portugal feels great that they're avoiding the bloodshed here, but Castile's stuck through it, and they might end up burning for this.
Portugal has left the war, so...
Yeah. I think France are going to be forced to let go of their alliance with the Ottomans to open up expansion for Austria and Hungary. Because that's been where they've been a bit stuck. Grugi saying, who is Portugal? Portugal's still on the map. A junior partner under Brazil, no less. Okay, they must be really thinking, what do they do now? I missed this, but the Danes are in the war. They're currently getting flattened by Lithuania.
Oh, Lithuania is a Bohemian Union partner.
Yeah, Bohemia. Yeah, apparently they lucked out in managing to get that in the last session, or rather, they were trying to go for Poland. Things didn't work out, but they ended up scoring Lithuania. I'm sure they'll be integrating them as soon as they can, but it's a long wait to do so. Well, Lithuania is quite open to revolting.
The Pope has enacted Dei Gratia Rex, which is 2% less unrest in Catholic promises for the Catholics, which is good in fighting a war. The Ottomans in the war. The Ottomans have joined.
Joined?
The Ottomans? No, they started a war. Ottoman attacked Genoa.
Oh, wow, this is going to catch Hungary off guard. Ottoman reconquest on Genoa, and Hungary has to join in and save them whilst fighting the other war. Fortunately for them, I think the numbers are looking okay, that they can dedicate their troops, and they did just beat back the Ottomans. But the last time they fought the Ottomans, things didn't go so well. It took a while.
If only France had won that battle where the Bohemian armies arrived, they would have had the superiority. But now the heartland is getting occupied, they have no reserves, and I think this war is lost.
Oh yeah, and they've lost the war goal as well. So that's.
But the interesting thing is, like, the war leader is England, and if I'm England, I'm like, what shall I do? It's like I'm propped up by the Italians. I have severe troubles internally. Should I demand a bunch of land, or should I just?
Well, if I was England, I'd first get that navy back up so you can be in a defensive position. Then at least he doesn't stand to lose anything. And then, well, I can't imagine all these people joined in just for the goodness in their heart. They'll probably want something for themselves. Do the English still have some extra cores kicking around? They got one on Maine. And they're certainly going to want Normandy back, but I don't think Normandy is long for this world. I think even once this war is over, France is immediately going to jump on Normandy for those cores. Because England's forced into a truce with them for a while.
Yeah, they say we should check the Normandian ideas.
Yeah, you don't often see Normandy on the map here, but we got Norman ideas. Maneuver, legitimacy, aggressive expansion impact. Advisor cost tax, colonial range. Privateering, blockading, naval fire, and may raid coasts at the end of the day.
We're gonna have a battle in Chartres or whatever, west of Paris. There's
there's quite a lot of them in there.
But I think this is a victory for the.
Might be a bit early to call, but I'd say Bohemia. Bohemia's got really good morale going in there. Not to mention that leadership. A 3-6-4-2 general, master of arms.
There's pretenders in Austria. Austria's rebel ravaged.
But they still have the numbers on their side. He could cut. Well, damn, they've actually taken over the capital and they're about to get another fort. I'm surprised nobody's going to help out with that. Because I think the war is won. France and friends don't have a lot that they can offer up. It's just a question of how much is are the defender forces willing to go through and occupy and destroy France and Castile and Burgundy. Burgundy's already lobotomized here. Same for half of France. But Castile is so far doing all right. They're still in the war, but
Brazil is in war now, or
no, Brazil pieced out.
Yeah, Brazil is killing rebels in England.
Just helping out a friend in need. Yeah, bigger war than I was expecting there. I was surprised to see so much of the East pile in, but I think it was all because France get allied with the Ottomans.
I like to point out that England is losing the great power status. Hungary is number 8. Bohemia is number 5.
Yeah, dang, they need a bit more development if they want to stay in the great power list here. I mean, being below Benin, that can't be good for them. But Vijayanagar's clawed their way to the top.
England moved their fleet out to the sea, and it's getting clobbered by.
Wow. Yeah, there's
Danish fleet.
Ooh, they do not have the supremacy to take the seas right now.
No, They need a few more Carracks.
Okay, that war score is tumbling down and down for the French here.
And I don't understand why the English have merchant navy instead of wooden wall as their doctrine.
Grugy's going on the attack against Scotland, I think. Yeah, he wants that terrible province of Arguin. What an awful province.
It's a matter of principle.
But that's Scotland doing their disguise. Oh, how cute. Brittany's offering a loan to France in these dark times.
And in India, Jaunpur and Vijayanagar is basically gobbling up further stuff.
I think they've got a good shot there in India, since it's just the two of them there. Of course, the Timurs are massive and scary as AIs go, but Jaunpur chose to ally them, didn't they? Yes, that's a good bit of security for them.
Ooh, this is... Oh. Take a look at the Aztecs. They are not just fighting in Central America.
It's getting greener and greener over there.
Yeah, but they're fighting in...
I see that. So they've established a colony over in Squamish.
Yeah.
It looks like they want the whole best coast for themselves. And he's going to flatten these Native Americans. They're like Tech 4, Tech 3. Just look at that. It's going to be wipe after wipe for them. He's going to gobble up that land and then probably try to solidify a whole straight line up and down here. Not only that, he's already made it up to Alaska. There's a province of Eak, which he's already taking for himself. Well, possibility for more gold there. Yeah, the whole coastline can have gold.
He's gonna go for it. It's an interesting thing.
No, it's not like there's anybody in the Far East who can fight against him for that, and the Europeans seem busy with their own mainland stuff, so the Kaiser's taking advantage of the opportunity. I don't think it'll be too long until we start seeing Aztecs on the Great Power list.
Benin sold a province to Timbuktu in Congo.
But why?
Something with naval range, I think.
I wonder what Timbuktu are up to then. They're obviously fighting Scotland, but if they want to get further around... I think he's after St. Helena.
Yeah, me
he's
too.
Currently going there now. If he takes St. Helena, it should give him the range to get to the Cape, and then maybe he'll fight against Brazil for that. I don't know.
It's like, I don't know who would win between...
okay, the French have surrendered. Their land is now all occupied by England.
The problem is that the territory where on Burgundy in the northwest for the victory card, but that's occupied by Bohemia.
There we go. So now it's going to be growing war exhaustion for the attackers. They need to make their peace. And they're going to be looking to England to make that peace. They have to. They're the war leader here. But what's England going to demand?
Ooh, Lübeck is in a war. There's a new player war. Prussia has decided to attack Lübeck.
Well, Prussia's fighting a lot of nations here, but it is Prussia. And all the nations are pretty small. I don't think Lübeck's long for this world here. When there's activity like this, I bet Utrecht is glad they fled.
Well, Brunswick and Prussia are staunch allies here, and...
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Lübeck, but Lübeck didn't really expand in all of this. He took the adjacent provinces and then kind of stagnated, which isn't a position you want to be in when you have such great provinces in a lovely trade node. I'm sure Prussia want to get the money to fund their armies. So they're going in for it. Oh, Hamburg as well. Now that's a cracking province.
But I don't know why England is not sending war. Or peace offers.
Yeah, England needs to make peace and fast. But if I was in England's shoes, I wouldn't know what to do. What would you take from France or do with them here?
I would ask for the stuff in Burgundy for my victory card, and then I would go like, let's feed Saxony. No, not Sardinia Piedmont.
Yeah, well,
Because Sardinia Piedmont were with them from the start.
Yeah, Sardinia Piedmont. They didn't look in for, you know, how can they benefit out of this. They came in to help their ally, and that's worth rewarding. Bohemia currently has England's victory card under occupation, so they need to transfer that across so that England can take it.
Yeah, because they don't want to ever own that province if it's going to be a victory card, because you don't want to sell it afterwards, because then you lose.
Oh yeah, and then you're going to lose out the same way that France lost out to Castile. Speaking of Castile, they're kind of burning right now. Reformed zealotry.
Yeah, and the Castilian armies are up in Netherlands and fighting, and they just destroyed. The Castilian Burgundian armies are up in the Netherlands still fighting. Oh, someone is attacking Normandy. Meanwhile, Milan is occupying Normandy.
There we go. Milan and Sardinia Piedmont. And it was a no-CB war. I really think they jumped on this just so that France could not. Because if I were France, the first thing that would happen after this peace is done would be taking those cores back. It's good land, it's coastal, they'd be able to build up a bigger navy from it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't taken over Brittany as well. Brittany, who are only allied with Brabant.
And Denmark's getting hammered by Lithuanians.
Yeah, all those Lithuanians making those occupations in Bohemia's name. Looks like Lithuania was a great catch for the French paradox. Yeah, that's a big subject to have, and they keep bringing in armies causing pain for the other side.
And Genoa and Hungary is benefiting enormously in this one, because they are defeating the Ottomans, and they are getting territory expansions there, while everyone else is busy waiting for the West to implode.
Yeah, it was kind of a blessing for Hungary here, because they get to take on Ottomans on their own, take whatever they want out of it. Then again, maybe they could defend Genoa a bit better. More than half of Genoa is under occupation from the Ottomans.
Milan, Sardinia, Piedmont have just declared war on Brittany. Normandy is also fighting Milan, Sardinia. The Italians are taking
Wow, they're getting real greedy now. The Italians are breaking out of their shell. I think they see the fact that France has no ability to counter this as their opportunity to go and fence them in.
Oh, the Ottoman War is over. What happened in the Ottoman War? Oh, yeah, Genoa was fed a bit, it seems.
I'm surprised that Hungary didn't get really greedy and take over a lot of the land for themselves. Because they have a lot of claims that they could take in a defensive war, no less. But all that happened was that Genoa took Kuban to glue his country together. Well, Genoa was the war leader, so they would have decided the terms. So I wonder if maybe having Bjorn B as your ally isn't helping out too much if he just wants to take land for himself.
Oh, the war exertion is growing for the players.
Yeah, what's it? It's going up by plus 0.14 every month now.
Yeah. At least Sardinia Piedmont is the bigger benefit.
Well, I'm hoping Sardinia Piedmont benefits out of this. Okay, looks like they're divvying up the land. Alex saying we need speed 5, we gotta go fast.
Milan is gonna... I know what they're waiting for. They're waiting for Sardinia Piedmont and Milan to occupy and destroy Brittany and Normandy so they can get that territory. Then I think that England's gonna get their chunk in their victory card, and Sardinia Piedmont getting the rest.
Yeah, but Bohemia still hasn't transferred over the victory card to England, so maybe they're not willing to give that to them. Oh. For some reason I've got server lost here. Are you still in?
Same here. No, I also lost server.
Where are the answers, Groogy?
It crashed for him.
Ah, I see. Okay, then we shall be getting out to join back in. I imagine during this downtime, the countries will be quickly speaking to each other, trying to figure out how to make their peace deal. Groogy's in the chat saying hot code. Do you know when this one was built? Because we do tend to run on hot code on the multiplayer, especially for in development stuff.
I think this was the nightly from this morning, which had a smoke test this morning.
Someone in chat is pointing out that the Kaiser did say he'll be back in Italy, so the Italians should worry about that as the Aztecs are a growing power over in New World.
But it's like during this entire war, Castile has not lost anything. They had some rebels, but it's going to be France and Burgundy that hurts.
I mean, those rebels can be
Cast-
dealt with, but it's Burgundy and France that are burning here. All the while, though, you know, this is a great distraction because it allows Prussia just to gobble up Lubeck. And I don't know what's going on with the Danes, but they are in a bad spot right now. They're completely occupied.
Yeah, by Bohemia and England up in the north.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think they surrendered.
And that was mostly done by the Lithuanians who were going off, and they were AI. So that does not bode well for Denmark at all.
Yeah. France needs to pick. Alex, pick France and ready up.
Oh, we're waiting. Oh yeah, Ethiopia. Oh, Ethiopia's in. There's Frederick Lee. With what I thought was his good friend over in Yemen. Alright, there we go. All players back in. And we're back up and on the go. Excellent.
Oh, Yemen is... Are they fighting a war?
Yemen have done well for themselves.
They're taking most of Ethiopia.
Yeah, poor Ethiopia. See, I thought Ethiopia and Yemen were going to be working together here, but as it stands, Ethiopia has been destroyed by Warsangali and Kaffa, and half of their land has already been annexed by Yemen. Works for Yemen. I mean, there's gold to be had there. Gold and coffee.
It crashes again, so...
Oh, is that crash for the Grugi again?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think we're on... that we need to stop for today, probably.
Okay.
Because this sounds like a repeatable crash, and we need to fix that one.
And that's how it goes with the dev clashes. When we find something like that, it's kind of good that we do find it, because then we can get on and get it tweaked up. But it looks like we're going to be calling it off for today then.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. That's a shame, but we'll go and get things fixed, and then hopefully for the next session we'll be able to get things going and have the full couple hours. Since it was just a short one, I don't think we need people in for the post session there.
No, and the war is not over yet, so we should probably...
For you, the war is not over, France.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. If we're going to be bringing it to an end early, then we shall get out of the game and then get fixing with the issues that we have found there, so that next time we can have a fruitful couple of hours. We just signing off here, Nurgle, or what? Yeah. Oh, he's giving me a nod. All right. Well, cheers for the short one there, but we shall hopefully be back next week. And until then, cheerio.
Cheerio.